Namaste, beloveds. This is Valerie Ames, aka Mother Wit. First of all, let me go into um, my authentic appearance. um, I am not. I am feeling the changes of um, the seasons and the cycles of existence right now. Many of you have heard the term seasonal allergies. Um, you're allergic to certain pollens and things in the air and the energy frequencies and the microbes and many different things that only arise during this time of season of great change, season of great fertility, season of great receptivity. And that is what this video is going to be about. It's about receptivity and how we receive things. And as I'm going through what I'm going through, um, it's taking me back through my own Akashic records and memories. Um, in this moment in time, I am alone. And what I mean by alone is I live alone. My children, my daughter is I'm in Wisconsin. My daughter is in California with my 6 grandchildren. And my son is here, but he is going to college and he's working 2 jobs. So my family time is very rare and kind of scattered. And I say this to say that, again, this is receptivity time. And if you've been following me for a while, you know my affinity for elephants. You know that animal spirits are a great inspiration and influence to my own wisdom, to my own knowledge, self knowledge. And right now, that elephant energy, the matriarchal energy, the elephant energy for me is a primordial representative spirit of the priestess tribe. It is the matriarch. It is the marriage of empathy, compassion, and divine feminine energies and souls coming together as family to nourish each other, to support each other, to relate to each other, and to care for each other. And this was seen in the earliest of communities of human beings. This is where the priests and the priestesses come from. They come from this animal spiritual awareness of collective, of clan, of system, of totem, of spirit medicine, however, whatever label of words you choose to group that together in. That's what this is. This is the receptivity of that. And I'm saying all of that, and I'm looking at what I am receiving in this conscious state of allergy, allegory, allergy, all algae of all of this what I'm, this seasonal thing of what I'm going through, what I've gone through every year of my life. So this is a constant. This is not something that I am unaware of. This is a conscious awareness that takes hold of my body every year. There's a pattern. There's a symmetry to it. There is a conversation, a communication within it. And I need to be crystal clear in what I receive from it. And for me, it is a resting time. And for me, it is also a time of, and this is going to sound kind of gross, but I want you to understand all is relative. This is thick mucus time. So you have the opaque, you have the sticky, the filmy, the slimy. This is what time this is for me. And I want you to think of all of the flora and fauna that deal with these kind of secretions and the organs and the senses. And I want you to think of the clogged pores, the unclogged pores, the clogged, the sinus, the flow, and the unclogged. And I want you to think of the congested lungs and the decongested lungs. I want you to think of the breathing. I want you to think and learn of the antihistamines of the body. All is relative, beloveds. And when you know yourself, you know what's going around. You know what season it is. You know what time it is. You know what your body needs. You know that, like I said, this is kind of a primordial thing for me. And I'm remembering in past lifetimes where when I went through this cycle and this season, there were caretakers around me who nourished me through this with teas and tonics and bathings and all kinds of, how can you say, tangible memories and smells and ointments and just the whole the whole of it. And it is only me now. But with this awareness that I'm receiving all of this, and it's very illuminating. And it's very telling in how dislocated, how discombobulated, how disconnected, how the discommunication, how the misinformation of these times happen. This is a direct wounding of the divine feminine collective consciousness. Women have been set against each other to tear each other down instead of the empathy and the feelings and the building you up. What do you need, my sister? What do you need, mama? What do you need, elder mama? What do you need, grandmama? What do you need? What can I do to help you, mama? What can I do to help you, sister? Daughter, what do you need? We have gotten away from this, knowing, from this way of being with each other. And it is done to tear down the spirit. It is done to tear down the spirit, to break down, to cause dis-ease and discomfort within the body, the mind, the soul, and the spirit. Again, excuse this little beeping. I got this thing plugged up, but it's doing its own thing. It's all energy right now, beloveds. And let me ground myself continuously in this. Receptivity. Downloads. Be aware of what is happening, the sensitivity of the body, mind, soul, and spirit is also sensitive to the cycles and seasons of what is going on in what we call space. And I want you to rein that in a little bit. We call it space, outer space. But that outer space influences, inspires, triggers, harmonizes, synchronizes with our inner space. So you cannot pay attention to one without paying attention to the other. You cannot know one without knowing the other. And knowing them as one, even though they seem to be different, they are not. During this time of seasonal allergies, there are solar flares, there are solar storms, there are solar winds. Blowing that only happen in this cycle of the season, in the turning of the galaxies and the planets and the rotating of the wheels within the wheels. And there are those of us who are sensitive, more sensitive, hypersensitive, hypervigilant to these turnings, to the alchemical coming together and the alchemical breaking apart of so many different things within the seasons and cycles and the ages and the planets and the souls. There's a sensitivity to it all. There's a receptivity to it all. And again, that is what this video is all about. It is about what are you receiving right now? What are you consciously aware of that you are receiving? And I'm unable to get on Facebook right now, but That's a good thing. It's not a negative thing. Um, when I get back on it, it'll be what it is. But right now, I've been there's a hold on it, and it was held at a time where the animal spirits were speaking loudly. Okay, that rabbit, that tortoise, that snake, that jaguar, these the four the four beasts with Ezekiel's wheel, the eagle, the face of the man, the face of the eagle, the face of the bull. One more. Man, bull, lion. There we go. Understand these seasons. Understand these cycles and how they work in harmony with each other. And the blending, the alchemy of them, the secular, the secular, the circular, receptivity within the neural transmitters and nerves of the body. Each system has its own. And as I was speaking, there's the sinus, the lungs, which is the breathing, the mucus in the body. All of this is very affected right now. And you need teas, hot teas, to help with as the old ones used to say, the humors, the body humors. And you have the Ayurvedic who deal with the humors of the body, and that which is cold, warm, and hot, and how to regulate what's going on through those different ways of receptivity. Like I said, this is happening. I am 57 years old. This has happened to me every year of my life. And I'm born on May the 1st. So this all is very present in my mind because it's related to me turning a year older. So all of this body stuff has special meaning to me. And as a child, I loved to go outdoors. And during this time of season, I was restricted from going out. Because my eyes would swell. My sinuses would get all blocked up. My breathing would become affected. My mother, who I will term a kitchen witch, would make up all these concoctions and pastes and tonics and different things that she would dose me with. She would rub me with, that I had to go to sleep with, that I had to wake up and get with, that I had to bathe in, and all these things. Again, this was the time of the priestesses. This was part of the women taking care of women and taking care of the children who suffered these things during these seasons. And they were ready for them because they knew what was coming. So they had gathered the herbs. They had gathered what they would need to meet this season in this time. Nothing caught them unprepared. They received. and they knew. This is also, the Spirit wants me to say, receptivity, receipts, resurrection, return. Those words, beloveds, pay attention to those words. Receptivity, receipts is in that word. We have this whole thing now about I got receipts. I can back up what I'm talking about. I got proof. Here it go. Here go the receipts. I'm telling the truth. I got receipts. Are you listening? Is your conscious awareness expanding to the point of knowing yourself? Knowing what you're looking for, knowing what you're receiving. If it ain't got receipts, I don't want it. If it's not truthful, I don't want it. It's got to be validated. It's got to be truthful. Or my consciousness don't want it. I'm not regurgitating everything I hear. It's got to be real. It's got to be nourishing. It's got to be medicine. It's got to be appeal to more than just my senses. It's got to actually help heal me, or I don't want it. I refuse. I can't receive it any other way. That, what is it called? Autoimmune system is kicking in and kicking up and saying, look at me, hello, hello. Are you paying attention? Are you consciously aware of yourself? Are you knowing yourself, thyself? Or are you so scattered? Or are you still letting everybody else tell you who you are? Is that what you're on the receiving end of? Well, you're this and you're that, and you're not this and you're not that. And you're receptive to that because you don't know who you are. So you depend on another to inform you or teach you or influence you or put you in a state of receptivity to receive what they're saying, what their mind is saying to you about you, because you don't have a clue. You don't trust. You don't believe. You have no faith in your own knowing of yourself. This is the time. This is the season to be receptive. This is the time, this is the season to take care, to slow down and see what you are receiving. Is it helpful? Is it harmful? Existence exists. It's not going to stop. And it's not going to make allowances for you. You have to make allowances within yourself for existence to exist. Whether that means you are alone or in community. Self-care, unconditional self-love is everything. And unconditional self-love comes from you knowing you. Like I said, I've gone through this every year of my life. This ain't nothing new to me. Even though each time I suffer it anew, my body is receptive of all the information that is saying, okay, something is irritating the fuck out of us. Something, pay attention. This is the time of alchemy where we have to be aware, or we will suffer beyond suffering. We will, whoo. How many of you remember that? And here we go with Will Smith. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for this vessel. The movie, I think it was Hitch, where he had ate shellfish and he had a allergic reaction to it. And his whole features, his whole face changed because of how his body received what he had consumed. And it was allergic to it. And he had a what? Allergic reaction. And it appeared, it manifested physically through his appearance, through his ability to breathe. Even people have died because you swell up and you can't breathe. This is alchemy, biology. So if you can have this, if you can receive these allergens in this manner, what are you allergic to spiritually? Are you aware of when you encounter certain things spiritually, you become different? Your whole essence, your whole nature, your whole appearance, everything about you changes. I grew up with elders, around elders, and I was more inclined as a child to sit around them, to watch them and listen to them, than to be off playing with other kids. They didn't interest me. What they were saying and doing, and that didn't interest me. I wanted to see what the grown-ups is talking about and doing, because that interests me. That held my mind. It made me think. It expanded my conscious awareness. Who you are around, who you choose to listen to, what you choose to receive, expands your conscious awareness into that level of receptivity. So if you're listening to stuff from the point of wanting to know more, wanting to expand your conscious awareness, you will get that. If you're listening or receiving something just to know the gossip, and that's what you get. It feeds that, nourishes that within you. You just want to know the drama. That's that Jerry Springer, Maury Povich, give me the Give me the dirt. The dirt, dirt, dirt. I want to consume the dirt. Give me the dirt. Give me the nasty. Give me the dirty. Give me that funky stuff. Let me saturate myself in that. Let me anoint and baptize myself in that funk. Because that's the fake. And that's what I want. That's what I feed off of. Or you want you receive that only to consciously expand your spiritual knowledge of things, of humanity, of mind, body, soul, and spirit, of how things intertwine and they play out. You look for the patterns. You listen at the tones and the frequencies, and you see the spectrums. And this gives you an expanded wisdom. It gives you a grace. It gives you a protection because you're using it in such a way to expand your conscious awareness. So instead of a little bitty itty bitty shield, you have a bigger shield. You have a bigger magnetic field. Not bigger, but stronger. Spiritual magnetic field. Getting back to knowing what affects you spiritually, what you're spiritually allergic to. Let me give you some instances of that. Growing up, a lot of my family is Native American, and we notice spirit in everything. And when you listen to the elders or the ones that talk, oh, they've been drinking that white liquor. That white liquor got her, that white liquor. It's not the brown liquor, the dark, the cognacs, no, it's that white liquor, that distilled, that white liquor that make you act crazy. That releases this spirit, this demon in you. That's that white liquor. They do that. So you have people that act differently when they drink specific things. That alchemy of it causes an allergic reaction to their own soul and spirit. And it cages their sanity while it enrages their insanity. Their demons are able to express themselves loud and clear, to just pour through them. Even more comes out through them. They're more of a vessel they're more open to be influenced and inspired by that kind of negative, unseen energy and vibrations and frequencies and spectrums. And they take a hold of them. And until they get knocked out unconscious and then wake back up, some of them remember, some of them don't. But some of them could be then killed and raped and did all kind of things totally foreign to their natures of who they are. But what took over? That white liquor took over, baby. That allergic reaction, that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde happened. How they received what they received totally shifted everything within them. And you have that in this age that is experimenting more with what they call microdosing, with the magic mushrooms or psychedelic mushrooms, the ayahuasca, and all of this. When you imbibe or when you take these things, your body has a physical reaction, an allergic reaction to what you go through when you start tripping. You start throwing up, your body gets sick. You're trying to purge all of this stuff. Why? Because your body is having an allergic reaction to whatever that toxins and toxicity and chemicals are. And it affects everybody differently. But there's a pattern there. And most people go into that kind of setting expecting trips, expecting experiences to happen to them, expecting the expansion of their conscious awareness. They're looking for something to open them to see more than what they see naturally. Some need those things to alchemically stimulate them to go into that. Others do not. Others can go into those kind of states through meditation, through music, through lights, through just the mind itself, consciously aware and expanding on its own without the help of those psychedelics, that kind of medicine, those kind of medical spirits. They're able to receive. Their receptacle factors, receptivity is very sensitive. The priests and high priestesses were were very empathic beings. They were the most empathic beings. They had to be. That was the requirement. That's why it was through the certain lines or genetic codes within certain family lines that was encoded into that being through their genetic weaving and thread and fabric of their being to be empathic, to be able to receive the way they receive, to be able to transmit it, what they receive, to be able to transform what they receive, and to be able to transmute it. That's all part of receptivity. That's all part of it. And it's all part of knowing thyself. And it's all part knowing thyself, know yourself with unconditional love. Each and every part, the most beautiful to the ugliest, darkest, most depraved, most demonic. Because that is the spectrum that you are receptive to, that you as a being are capable of receiving. You are that zero, you are that womb. And you receive all the input from all the data that exists, past, present, and future, in every multiverse that exists. You are receptive to it. You receive it as existence. Some in existence are more in tune with their existence. They're more aligned with their existence. They're more consciously aware of their spiritual existence, that which is unseen but is always present, that which cannot be explained but is always there and which is always speaking and communicating. Through images, through sounds, through feelings, through memories, knowing past, present, and future. We are receptive beings, receiving. When you have these allergic reactions to the cycles and seasons, know that is the transforming, that is the transferring, that is the transmuting of all that you are receiving. It is all part of your natural dynamic as a being of existence, as an expression of existence. Know how to care for yourself. Know how to rest during this time. Know how to inform others of where you are right now and what happens to you during this period of time, so that they don't get triggered or take things personal during your healing phase and your lack of attention to them or different things, because you are unconditionally loving yourself and being present with yourself in this time, because that's what not only your physical body needs, but your spiritual body needs, your emotional body needs. And beloveds, this is such a hard thing. Let others care for you. Many of us don't trust people, but there are a few that you trust up to a certain point. Even if it's up to a certain point, a limited amount. Accept the help. Pray. Let people minister to you. Aid. Help. Expanding conscious awareness. Trust the process. It's not them that you're putting your trust in. It's not them. The Bible, the scriptures, the elders tell you, don't put your trust in men. So don't put your trust in them. Don't expect things from them, but expect it of spirit. Know that it'll come through spirit, and the spirit uses whatever vessel, whatever vehicle it needs. It will create whatever circumstance it needs. Whether you find that circumstance or that situation pleasant, tolerable, impossible, unimaginable, it is for you to expand your conscious awareness. It is for you to receive the wisdom of it, the spiritual wisdom of it. And to know that spirit takes no side. There is no good or evil in it. There's only the expansion of conscious awareness. There's no judgment. There's no revenge. The karma that we speak of is the laws, universal laws of attraction. It's that simple. What you put out comes back to you. That simple. Now, if you want to attach vengeance to that, if you want to attach karma to that, if you want to attach something to make it make sense in your mind, you knock yourself out. But it's very simple. What you do comes back to you. That simple. The feelings and emotions that you place and attach to that, that's on you. That comes from your mind, comes from your heart, comes from your spirit, that comes from your self-knowledge, that comes from your unconditional love of yourself. Okay, beloveds, this is going to do it for me. The receptivity of this whole Will Smith thing has kind of been expanding my conscious awareness, in that I see the spiritual implications, and they are multiple. And the frequencies and spectrum of it is from A to Z, baby. And depending on your life experiences and your heart and your self-knowledge and your understanding of unconditional love is where you will find the answers to what does this mean? Why is it on such a global stage? What is it about this? What is it about this couple? What are the dynamics that they're representing collectively and individually? We come to violence. And we come to understanding what violence is from a spectrum of negative, positive, and zero. Indifference, positive, negative. Attached, detached, indifferent. It is time that we look at violence and not just see what is in plain sight, but look at what is underneath the surface of it. Look at it and understand that verbal abuse is just as striking, just as wounding, just as damaging, just as powerful as physical abuse. That is what we have been missing. That is what is being shown. And many of us aren't connecting the dots. We're only connecting to the physical slap. None of us are understanding or connecting to the emotional slap. And understand the dynamics of the four square that it came from. The Oscars, Chris Rock, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, 5, and the audience received that slap verbally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Now, what you do with that, that's up to you. How you allow it to teach you, inspire you, how you allow it to influence or expand your your spiritual conscious awareness is up to you. But if you're not looking at it from those 5 pillars that supported, held it up, created it, magnified it, dramatized it, and presented it in order for you to receive it, then you're missing the point. You're missing the point. And there is a point. There is a finger pointing, fingers and a thumb in that slap. And you need to be aware of all of it, not just one pointing finger. You need to see all of them. And you need to see all of them. All of them. Receive it all, not just parts and pieces. Expand your conscious awareness. That is unconditional love for yourself. That is what survival is. And you pass this knowledge on. You pass this wisdom on. You pass this way on. This is medicine. Bundle it up and pass it on. This will heal wounds, allergic reactions, past, present, and future. All in how you receive it, what you receive. Are you aware of what you are receiving? You got these bunny ears on, these antennas. Are you like that turtle so slow that you don't even know what you're receiving? Are you so busy? I receive it. I ain't got to carry it nowhere. I ain't got to carry it and transform it through my body. That's that turtle. That's that spirit and that soul. I can just let my mind. That's the truth. That's what everybody else is doing. You got to keep up. No, you don't. Time is an illusion. So the fact that you got to keep up with somebody means that somebody is ahead of you, or their time is before yours, or their time, you're after them, you're less than them. Mind tricks, manipulation. Unhealthy self-love and self-care. Patterns, and traditions. And we run marathons with this disinformation, passing it on generation to generation. Slap. Pointing. And what did old people say? How many fingers is pointing back at you when you pointing? Okay, beloveds. That is going to do it. That is all that is rising within me that I needed to share, that I needed to get out of me, that I needed to, that I have received, that I have nourished myself with, and that I am purging and detoxing and have distilled and am breastfeeding those who want that mother's milk, that mother's wisdom, that mother wit, who can receive it from the Spirit, in the Spirit, and consume it from that Spirit, in the Spirit that it's meant to. And that Spirit is unconditional love. It is not from a sense of superiority. It is nourishment. It is what was gathered and picked like cotton and then gone through the mill to make thread and then woven together to make fabric for you to put on. Why? Because that fabric will help keep out dis-ease, untruth, lies, things that you are allergic, your spirit is allergic to. But you have to be able to understand and know what it is. Okay, beloveds, that's going to do it. Like I said, for this portion, if something else arises, let's see here. Just feeling the need, feeling the need, feeling the need, feeling the need. Okay. I'm going to just take the two that are from this chakra deck because they came up with the ones that I was trying to get. Completion. It's a very deep card, beloveds. I see a woman, the same woman that's at the graveside. She's burying a soldier. Whether that soldier was her father or her love, I'm not aware. There's a lot of orange solar plexus in this card. There are a lot of deep purples and green in this card. Okay, let me see. Hold on, let me see. I won't be lazy. I won't be lazy. Completion. Orange. Chapter 2. Second chakra. Orange. Number 20. Of course. Okay. Hold on 1 second, beloved. Okay, here we go. I wanted to read what the writer, the originator, the creator of this card has to say about it. not just my interpretation, but what is there. Um, Completion, second chakra orange, final sunset. A life comes to spectacular close. The legend, he was raised in an orphanage and never wore new boots until he enlisted in the army in 1942. 1942 was the year my mother was born as well, and she was born in March, which is spring. By the end of the war, he was a decorated veteran and had survived what many of his brothers had not. Later, he became an actor. He was well loved, but history will remember him as a war hero. When he was finally laid to rest, Goddess smiled upon him as she received him into the heavens. Inspiration. This is a reminder to cherish all the beauty in your life, including endings. Reflect upon your part in history and discover what you value most. Do not fear completion, embrace it. Personal inquiry. Am I present in the moment? How do I respond to the idea of completion? Key ideas: honoring your legacy, a neutral ending to a grand adventure, a new beginning on the horizon, a new adventure, honoring those who gave to us. Key words: achievement, determination, fulfillment, meditation. Allow all your feelings about endings to come to you, whatever they may be. Do you fear them or rejoice in them? Do some journaling to find clarity here. Mm. And now I'll give you what I get from this card. And what I get is very deep, beloveds. Um, each of these graves markers looks like a book. And we're speaking of the end chapters, completion of each of those books. We have the orange, 2, 5. The number 5 is the number of fingers and thumb. Those are the number of digits on each hand. So that is a chapter, and you have another chapter, whether beginning or ending. You have those 2 chapters from the number 5. There are 6 rays to the sun there. Let's see, there we go. That sun that is setting, there are 6 rays coming out of it. So you add that to those, it's orange as well, and those orange flowers. That 5 and that 6 makes 11. That is a window. They are in this bubble. She is there with him. She is helping him to transcend, to move beyond. And the grave is empty. So she's holding this memory. There's a lot there, beloveds. Completion. And it uses the word final sunset. A life comes to a spectacular close. And that is in the orange, that is the sacral. And I was reaching for my Abraham Hicks Out of the Vortex deck, and these cards were attached to them, and they came through, and they were the first and the last in that chakra set. So this is the first, completion, and the last one was gratitude. Keep in mind that I spoke of the priestesses. in the very beginning. Notice that one of these women is pregnant. The one in purple is pregnant. And she's darker and more fertile in her skin tone and everything. Notice the purple flowers that have bloomed. 3 up top in the heart, and the one next to each of them, and the one in the middle. So again, you have the number 6 presenting itself. 6 is sexuality and fertility and all of that. And the color purple is the crown chakra. Hold on, let me just get there. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Chapter 6, gratitude, purple. Gratitude, here it is. Lucy from Indigo. Wow. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Lucy from Indigo. Indigo blue. I'm so glad you are in my life. Lucy's best friend writes a letter to Lucy's unborn child. She does this so that one day the child will understand how extraordinary her mother is. Lucy, a friend from Indigo, someone who always supports, never judges, always sees the good side, whatever the circumstances, and uplifts all those around her. In the letter, her gratitude for Lucy shines through. Inspiration. Gratitude raises our vibration to a higher level. If you are unhappy in any relationship, Lucy reminds you that it is always in your power to change it. There is no mystery to being a good person. Good people just do good things. Personal inquiry. Who is the person I admire most? Why? How can I live at that level? Key ideas. Friendship, deep love, pregnancy, nurturing, unconditional love towards self or others. Key words: appreciation, recognition, esteem. Meditation for the next 10 days. Spend a few minutes each day making a gratitude list. Do not look at the previous day's list when you began each day. At the end of 10 days, read all the lists. Notice what keeps coming up. Are you on your list? That is what the book says. This is by Tori Hartman. This is the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck and guidebook, the complete spiritual toolkit for transforming your life. Beloveds, there is so much here. Coming from these 2 women who are of each other, but they look to me of the yin and yang to each other. Okay? Do the color, the hair, the clothes, the red being the passion, and the purple being the wisdom to just receive and be royal in all that you have received. And you have the red heart, and you have the entanglement of those purple flowers there. And what is growing, what is very fertile, and what is coming up, coming through, and coming across is the connections. The hand on the heart, the 2 heads together, the bellies, the breasts. There's a lot there in that card, beloveds. And so, gratitude and completion came through. Gratitude and completion came through. There's a lot there, beloveds. Now I'm just going to just get, we'll see what comes. We'll see what comes. I'm not going to direct it with how many or anything of that nature. I'm just going to let come what comes forth. And again, this is the Esther Hicks Vortex deck. Okay, there we go. I had one to come through. The law of attraction assembles all cooperative relationships. Wow. It's number 3. Beloved, look at that card. Well, again, a lot of the purple. And we were just shown that is the violet in the chakras. And that swirling eye. And how many beings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 beings. And 7 being the being that is there. So there are total, there are 6. One here. One here, one here, one here, one here, one here. And then the 7th. So there are a total of 6 beings. 6 influences, angels, aspects, whatever you want to call them, that are coming to the eye of awareness of this being. The law of attraction assembles all cooperative relationships. That was spoken in what you put out there comes back to you. Whether you wanted to call that karmic or whatever. It's a very simple universal law. And here it came. So there is this vortex of becoming, completion, cycles and seasons. When one season ends, another begins. When you're allergic or hypersensitive in one season, the next season you've gone through that, so your body is ready for what is coming. So there is this vortex of becoming, the spiral in the eye, the vortex of becoming. A vortex that contains all of the requests, all of the amended requests, each and every detail of each and every asking that has emanated from you. And the law of attraction is responding to that. The vortex is literally drawing in all things necessary for the completion of every request it contains. All cooperative components are being summoned and are coming from the completion of these creations for the answering of these questions and for the solutions to these problems. There is so much pouring forth from this card, beloveds, and I'm just going to flood you with what is flooding me. Be careful what you ask for. Be conscious of your conscious mind expanding. Be conscious of your subconscious. Be conscious of your unconscious mind. The universe hears all three and does not distinguish between them. So whatever is on your mind, be it consciously, up front, subconsciously, inside, unconsciously, outside, the universe picks up on it. And this is your vortex of reality. This is what you are concentrated on. This is what your thoughts are connecting and manifesting and creating. And so all the cooperative components are being summoned and are coming for the completion of these creations, for the answering of these questions, and for the solutions to these problems. So the war that we're having, the Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and the Oscars and the Chris Rock and the audience watching it all, that collective, that five, it's all there for a reason. And it's all there to get us ready for what's coming. This is a completion and ending, getting us ready to go through the next phase and cycle. See, before I can go into the summer season, I have to go into the spring season and get my allergies are going to get me ready for whatever's coming for summer, winter, and fall. And then the next spring, I go through this whole cycle and season again. And then in the winter months, I go through another cycle and season, getting ready for the light and the dark. And the spring, getting ready for the light and the dark. So understand these things, understand them, receive the wisdom of them. Let it expand your conscious awareness. Let it expand your self-knowledge and your unconditional love for self. No one has taught you, no one can teach you but you. This is the vortex. The vortex is existence. The influences and all the components of existence pulling you into itself. That's the law of attraction. That's the magnetic pull. The positive and the negative pull. The mathematical components of addition and subtraction leads to the equations of multiplication and division. The number 3 and the number 7 combined, that is the number 10. That is number 1. That is completion. Past 9 is completion. So you go back to starting all over again. And again, the colors of this card. And understand everything that you're pulling into your field of conscious awareness is there to help you expand your conscious awareness. That is the universal law of attraction. What you're seeing, how you're interpreting it is what develops your self-love, your self-knowledge, your wisdom, your will, your freedom, your existence. Are you allergic to those things? Are you having an allergic reaction? What do you need to do to be able to breathe clearly through them? To get you ready for what's coming. Because there's always another season. Life is eternal. A phase or a stage may complete or end, but another one begins. As one door closes, another opens. The vortex is literally drawing in all things necessary for the completion of every request it contains. Do you know how vast that is? Do you know how vast you are? Each and every detail of each and every asking that has emanated from you, your mind, your spiritual mind, your physical mind, your emotional mind, conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. The universe is giving it all to you. Because all of this is emanating from you. The law of attraction is responding to that. And this is called the vortex of becoming. Becoming what? Becoming consciously aware of existence, existing. All cooperative components, all cooperative components are being summoned and are coming for the completion of these creations. So even though if it presents itself as chaos, all cooperative components, push, pull, opposites attract. Everything is needed. That's what the duality seems to be. Both are needed. It's one coin. Both sides are necessary. And whether they look to be in competition or consuming each other, they are cooperative. Wheels within wheels, within wheels, within wheels. Back to those four representatives: the human, the lion, the eagle, and the bull, and that which observes all. And that slap, that pop, the pointing. We're in a completion cycle. Some of us are going to be more allergic or be more symptomatic, or our antihistamines are going to make us cough and suppress and do all kinds of things to help us breathe through this phase. But we'll get there. And there's another phase coming. And this phase is called summer. The sun. So, beloveds, again, consciously expand your awareness into unconditional love for yourself. Not for what you look like, not for what you have materially, but for your existence existing in harmony, in alignment with all that is, with the controversies and the waves and the ups and downs, the lunacy of the moon and the tides and the situations, the shedding and the rebuilding that the body goes through, is all receptivity to existence, and is all expansion of your conscious awareness. And that conscious awareness expanding is all about unconditional self-love and self-awareness. Not for superiority or inferiority, but for knowledge of self. In receptivity of self. And beloveds, the best thing you can do is to hydrate yourself in this season. When your eyes get itchy and watery, when your mucus is woo, when your throat is itchy, keep yourself hydrated. This is alkaline water. It's got electrolytes in it. Like I said, look at what you need to do. If you're a more naturalist, go into the teas and the different herbs. Licorice root will help you. There are many others, but if you want teas and different things, look for what helps relieve your sinuses, your antihistamines. Learn what they are. Learn what you're reacting to. Learn that this is your body's natural defenses, and that it is individualized as well as a collective essence, receptivity to everything that is going on seasonally. Okay, beloveds, that's going to do it. Namaste. Thank you.